everyone. It's so good to be with you. I'm Christine Earthart.
And I'm Brett Earthart.
We are founders of the Center for Thriving Relationships and truly are so grateful, honored, and excited to get to spend this time with you and to explore 3 essential keys to being a successful relationship coach that can really get powerful results and create these amazing breakthroughs for others while improving your own love life in the meantime. And this is one of our favorite topics ever. So thanks for joining us, those that are here live, those on the replay. So here we are. Let's dive in. And yeah, feel free to say hello in the chat. We welcome your beautiful voices in every and any way. All right. So you, our friends, you are in the right place if you want to
feel confident with a proven methodology to help couples save and transform their relationships.
Yes. If you want to experience deep fulfillment and purpose in your life.
If you want to massively improve your own relationships.
And if you want to create an amazing and abundant lifestyle, doing what you love and what really lights you up. We are so glad you're here. Or if it's for a reason beyond that, of course, we welcome you fully.
All are welcome.
So we invite you to get ready to discover on this master class.
Yeah, the number one divorce mistake, the hidden pitfall that disconnects couples. Need to know that.
Yes, you do. When help hurts, why traditional coaching and therapy can sometimes backfire, unfortunately, and so often with the best of intentions. We just want to prevent that.
And we're going to discover the root cause revealed, like how to uncover what's really under conflict.
We'll talk about the 6 pillars of a thriving relationship, the essential framework for lasting love. If you put all these ingredients in for yourself, for the couples you support, you have covered all your bases.
And for those of you who are interested in becoming relationship coaches, we'll talk about the next step.
Yes. So we'll save the time at the end to do that. And may this be of deep value to you, no matter what. So before we share those 3 keys, we wanted to just introduce ourselves to you if we have not had the great fortune of meeting you personally. Really, it is such a gift to be on this journey with you and such an honor. And so our own path, to tell you a little bit about how we came to be doing this work with relationships. We've been together 22 years now. Currently, now we are in the marriage of our dreams. We had an amazing, sparkly, magical start to our love story where we would just stay up into the wee hours of the morning, wanting to understand everything about each other. Communication, it was easy breezy. We were always on the lookout for those thoughtful things we could do to light each other up. However, fast forward a few years and we're suddenly own a home together, we're co-parenting our young son, and we're discovering that we have differences in how we want to parent, how we navigate finances, how clean we like the house. And we were falling into what we call relationship poisons, which are truly just these strategies that we use to get our needs met that aren't the healthiest. And so blame, criticism, checking out, defensiveness, all that kind of good stuff. So we get to a really tough place. But we pondered like maybe more is possible here, because although we had done lots of personal growth individually, we had never really learned what it took to have a great relationship. So we thought maybe more is possible here. So we dove in, learned everything we possibly could, and our relationship utterly transformed. And so after that occurred, we really truly felt like we had a responsibility. We just saw so many well-intentioned, loving, kind, caring, good-hearted, successful, intelligent people all over the world who were suffering so tremendously in the area of life that tends to mean the most to nearly everyone. So they were suffering so much, and we knew they didn't need to. And that there was also so much potential for joy and togetherness and connection, the kind of love that we all really long for, that they were missing out on. And so I'll let Brett share more, but it really was our own transformation that got us into this work.
So we had done all this work on our relationship, and then at that same time, I was a psychotherapist in a clinical setting, and Christine was a transformational coach doing lots of work with people. And we started to do what we did with each other, with clients. And we found is like, wow, this is creating amazing results in people's lives. And so then, realized that we just like had to kind of really focus and deep dive into that work because it was so meaningful, so purpose filled. Yeah, I just, it's hard to describe just how, it lights, up the practitioner, the coach, when you see like the transformations happen in other people and, you played at least a little part in that. And so in 2012, then we started the Center for Thriving Relationships. And so since then, yeah, we've worked with personally with over 1,000 couples, and we started doing well retreats. And so it's like we, got, we're seeing over, I think, well over 1,000 couples in our retreats. And then, very quickly we started just kind of filling up, our time slots, and we had a wait list for clients, and then we realized that it's like, oh, like to serve the world, kind of with these tools that we this toolkit that we put together, we needed to like start training other people, and so we started creating a team of people. Now we have over 20 coaches and psychotherapists on our team that we've trained in our kind of modality. And we just found, from the beginning, it's like, oh, we're good at what we do, but it was more than that. It was really like when we, trained people on the tools that we had created during, kind of that work with all those couples, that other people could create those same results that we consistently did. And so then so we trained coaches, put together a team, worked amazing, and then we just had to kind of keep growing things to serve the world. And so then we started our coach certification program, and we've certified over 500 coaches around the world now, and who are all doing like amazing work out there. So yeah, just deeply kind of honored to have impacted the world in the way that we have, and we want to keep doing it. We want kind of you to be part of Team Love now.
Yes, it is such a team effort, what we all co-create together. And yeah, one of our passions is really to help light that path that exists between every human heart, if we can really see one another more clearly. All right, so you might be able to relate to the experience that we had where we really got to that tough place. So this is so common. Most couples have had these moments where you're like, gosh, it feels like we just have two options here. So one option would be that we would go our separate ways. So Brett and I absolutely got to that place in our own relationship. Many couples, countless couples have come into our office in that really, really difficult moment that it seems like things are so tough, and the only way to really transform it seems like just really letting each other go. However, what we've discovered is that breakdowns really are the breakthroughs waiting to happen. It really is in that moment so often when things are so difficult that it becomes a catalyst for things to be better than they ever are before. But that is one option that couples oftentimes see. Like maybe we're just too incompatible. Maybe this just isn't meant to be. Maybe this just takes way more effort than it should if it's really right.
Yeah. And then so that second option is just to stay stuck, to hope that things will change while we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we know that things don't change, right? Unless we do things differently. So option two is not what we want to do.
No. So some people feel like they're faced with two options. Like, well, I don't want this relationship, or I don't really want to leave you. There's love and care still there, but this is just so hard, so painful. So fortunately, there is a third option, which is the one that we chose, that we now just absolutely delight in witnessing other couples who choose and create and commit to this option, and empowering coaches to facilitate the opening of possibilities that happens when people choose option number 3, which is all about relationship healing and growth. And the key is that it just truly requires a unique set of tools and support. So often it requires support because in our most intimate relationship, who here can relate that we tend to get like triggered the most? We react the most. Our partner and everything they say or do or don't say, don't do, it impacts us more than probably anybody else in your life. If you are in relationship, whoever your closest relationships are, and certainly if you have clients or loved ones, you can see like in their romantic relationship, it's where everything really comes to the surface. And so they are uniquely humbling and also uniquely spectacular at really being these human growing machines and bringing everything to the surface that we can use for our own awakening and evolution and growth. However, if we don't have the tools, it just becomes a source of pain. It really perpetuates these experiences of trauma, these painful experiences of our past. We really experience the greatest pain early on in life in our relationships. And so if we don't learn relationship skills, we're very likely going to act them out in our romantic relationship as an adult. So relationship skills.
And these skills can be learned. And that's the thing, right? That just changes the whole game. Right. When we realize it's like, I have a growth mindset and it's like, oh, like all we have to do is, maybe do some healing work, doing a relationship growth, then like a whole, like, new options present themselves. And, when we think about like skill development, just think about the amount of time and effort and resources that you've put into skill development in your life, around your career, probably. It's probably like years of studies, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, to kind of get, trained at university or in, different development programs. And, so you've put, a ton of effort and resources into your career. And, yet our relationships are usually like our number one predictor of happiness in our life. And so, we want to make sure that, we're kind of structuring our life in a way that really makes sense and values the right priorities. And so, we want to definitely, invest in our relationships and primarily in our, relationship skills.
Absolutely. And so many practitioners out there that haven't been trained. If you're training to become a coach of some sort or a psychotherapist or counselor, mental health counselor, the training is wonderful. It's comprehensive. We are in full support of it. It just means there's so many things to cover that relationships are just a tiny, tiny bit. And so what can oftentimes happen with people that are in the helping profession, if they're not trained specifically in relationships, again, these can be lovely, lovely humans. It's just with the best of intentions. If they don't have this skill set, it can do a lot of harm. And that's why statistically, people actually do worse than go to marriage counseling. That is not the case at all in our methodology. It is the opposite. People, a lot of times, they'll reach out to our office because they had negative experiences elsewhere, because all of a sudden so much got brought to the surface and then they didn't have the roadmap out. So both practitioners and couples can absolutely learn these skills to really, take people into those moments that aren't working and then create this breakthrough that catapults them forward and upward. So
nearly every couple in the world, right, is struggling with something, miscommunication, just feeling like we're kind of stuck in survival and we're kind of longing for, deeper connection, stuck in unhealthy patterns, lost the spark, resentment from, hurts that have happened in the past, repetitive arguments about money, sex, parenting, household chores.
those are the biggies.
Different, and struggling with differences, that feel like incompatibilities, instead of, the differentiation that actually gives spice to life. And then, and sometimes betrayal of trust. So couples are, struggling with kind of, all of these things, and at least some of them. And would you know how to create a breakthrough quickly and easily for a couple that came to you and, were articulating like that some of these challenges? And that's what our program does.
Yes, or a loved one. So often, I remember before I had relationship skills, I would just be hanging out with a friend and they would be telling me about their relationship. And I had this like feeling in my heart, maybe you've had this experience, and like hearing somebody talk about their relationship. And I just had this deep knowing that it didn't have to be so hard, but I didn't quite know what to say or what to offer them. I just had this knowing. So if you have that knowing ever, oh my gosh, it's the best feeling to like all of a sudden allow people to have these aha moments where they're able to see themselves and their partner in a whole new way. So the transformation that is possible for couples, for you in your own relationship, for those that you support or feel called to support, is for both people to truly feel seen, heard, valued, appreciated, to have this spirit of togetherness and teamwork, where conflict is inevitable, right? Conflict is going to happen, but it becomes this growth opportunity where you repair from it, and then you're even more equipped and even more just conscious as a human, where we reignite passion and intimacy. We have a healthy communication where a couple has this foundation of unwavering trust and support, where you really feel like your partner is your number one fan. They have your back. They've got you. You're in it together. Where a couple has aligned values and dreams, where you're able to heal wounds that may have occurred in the current relationship, but also those that we come into the relationship with that we can so easily project onto our partner because the things that we can't see inside of ourselves, we tend to project onto our partner. And this is brilliant because then if we allow it to be, we're able to see aspects of ourselves that need love and attention and healing. So we get to heal wounds that have stood in the way of connection, of our peace, of our happiness. And we just get to experience more joy, more ease, more fulfillment together. This is really the great news too. Like thriving relationships don't require more work. They just require different effort, an effort that is actually way more enjoyable. So we not only have couples tell us all the time that their sessions with this methodology, they really feel like a date night, which is great because couples are so busy. Most couples like do not have much extra time. So setting aside an hour together or 2 hours together is a really big deal. And so we want them to feel reconnected, replenished, inspired that this is something they look forward to. And that absolutely happens with our method. And we find the practitioners then as well are totally nourished, uplifted, inspired. We're just moved all the time and so deeply touched by the couples we support. So if this is the kind of transformation that you would love to facilitate and watch unfold before your very eyes, then stay tuned because here are 3 keys to getting powerful results as a relationship coach. Woo woo. All right. So
All right.
key number 1.
Key number 1, when clients come in and you're doing your first session with them and right, they're coming in, they're probably feeling defeated, they're feeling beaten down, like probably just feeling a lot of pain, because of repetitive negative cycles. You want to help them reframe their challenges and give them hope, right? And there's so many different ways to do that, but we're going to kind of reframe that them even just being there is a miracle and shows like their commitment to each other. And, we're going to redefine conflict as, instead of like something negative, it's like, oh, this is just like growth waiting to happen, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Those are moments that couples can feel a lot of despair and just so exasperated because oftentimes when couples will reach out to you for support, it's like they've been having the same thing over and over recurring, or it's just a moment of feeling devastated because they just discovered something. Whatever it might be, it's a really painful moment. It's one of the questions couples oftentimes ask in their first session. They'll like share what's going on and then wonder, is there hope for us? And oh my goodness, as relationship coaches, as someone who helps couples, this is so important because again, somebody who is not trained in relationships, if someone came in and shared with you the difficult moment in time that they're in, it would be so understandable and so easy just to say like, oh my gosh, get out of there. This sounds awful and miserable. What are you doing staying in this relationship? Which is what happens a lot actually when someone, again, we don't want to make wrong. This just does happen. We've just heard it countless times over the years that someone will go to their individual therapist and narrate what's been going on in their relationship, which has been excruciatingly painful. And so, of course, the therapist can so easily be like, what are you doing in that relationship? You need to get out of there. So this happens a lot. And what our loving invitation is, sometimes we're not suggesting that everybody should stay in their relationship at all. Sometimes relationships serve a purpose and we graduate and we're ready for the next one. So we are in full support of that. We just find that there is a vast number of occasions when, couples they feel stuck. They stay stuck in a really painful place or they end the relationship because they think that they're doomed. And we just want to assure them that conflict is absolutely inevitable. We can turn this conflict into something wonderful, and that they really, 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 aren't just like compatibility is something that we can create. We can create a thriving relationship. We don't just meet someone. We're like, oh my gosh, we're just perfect for each other. And now we live happily ever after. No way. Anybody that has a healthy, conscious, thriving relationship, they have created it so intentionally and consciously. And it's often on just the other side of pain. So here's that quote Brett said.
Conflict is growth wanting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the 5 stages of a thriving relationship. Like we really need to understand this. And this is one of the concepts that we find just helps the couples that we're working with really have hope. It's something that we, in our own story, it was incredibly helpful. Because if we don't understand the stages of relationship, then we don't understand like where we're at in the moment. We can't accurately assess where we're at, and we don't understand what our goal is or what the steps are to get there. So we're just kind of wandering in the dark. But once we understand these stages, then right, I can accurately assess where we are, where we want to be, and what the steps are to get there.
Yeah, and you can help
Yeah.
really paint the picture of what's possible. So this is connected to that first key of like giving couples hope. And when all of a sudden they realize like, oh, we're just in stage number 2, there's 5 stages here. So we'll go through these quickly with you. So again, if you are inspired to work with couples, if you have couples in your life that you just love, your neighbors, your colleagues, like this is such a great paradigm to introduce people to, because where they used to see a dead end, all of a sudden, now they see a hope and possibility. So the romance stage, lots of hope, lots of enchantment. We tend to see each other's best, give each other our best. Things just feel easy. We're very optimistic people. And yet, when a couple is in the romance stage and they're just like, everything's just so easy, we get along perfectly. And people think that it's going to last like that, which is so beautiful. It is such a great stage to be in. And we're over here thinking, like, we've never, ever, ever met a couple that has permanently stayed in the romance stage.
Yeah, in the romance stage, that's the only stage where love is enough, where like love is all it takes, to be happy, right? It doesn't last. Yeah, so the romance stage, it's a kind of a biological um, response to this, romantic sexual partner that we're really into. It generally lasts from 6 months to 2 years, depending on someone's biology. Uh, Inevitably, those heightened neurotransmitters levels that we experience during the romance stage that kind of give this that blissed out feeling, they come back down towards normal, and that's when we start hitting the power struggle stage.
Yes, and we call it the power struggle stage really compassionately for us to look at this. It's just that we have needs that are really important to us, and we start to develop these strategies for getting our needs met that really aren't healthy or helpful. So, for example, I could have a need for connection. The need is so absolutely beautiful, and I might feel threatened by how much my partner is working. And so that need feels threatened. All of a sudden, I'm in kind of alert, fear response. And so I blame and criticize my partner because they work so much. Unfortunately, that does not inspire them to want to come closer to me. So, beautiful need for wanting connection, not the best strategy to blame and criticize them. That's when we do this. So, in power struggles, we tell ourselves the story in these moments is that what I want and what you want are at odds with each other. And the only way to kind of get this is to use these strategies. We kind of double down on these strategies that end up taking us really further and further away from what we really want.
Yeah. So in that power struggle stage, it's like when we're stuck there, it's like, yeah, we're just stuck in this belief, this misbelief that our needs are in conflict with each other. And then to get out of that, right, we have to shift our mindset to what we call the commitment stage. And in the commitment stage, it's like we know that we can both get our needs met here. And we're willing to kind of go first in making our partner's needs the priority, or in making the needs of the relationship the priority. And so it's like that doesn't mean that our own needs is insignificant. Like that's still important, but we're willing to kind of prioritize our relationship first.
Yes, yes, yes. And then the growth stage is just applying all the things that we've just never learned before. Very, very, very few people have role models for anybody that's in a thriving relationship. In fact, most couples, will say to each other, like, well, at least we're not as bad as that couple over there. They're really in a tough spot. And so we set the bar kind of low and just don't even know what's available for us because there aren't many models. And so we haven't had this kind of behavior to even mirror. And so then we get to learn and grow the things that we never learned in school, that we dream of the day when schools teach, kids how to really have healthy relationships. And then we get to thriving. So thriving is really the best part of the romance stage, where we are, again, focusing on each other's best. We have this hopefulness. There's this love and ease and connection, met with a deep level of safety and security and trust, and knowing and loving the whole person, which is really like a sacred experience to be able to share all of who we are so vulnerably, and to have that met with love and acceptance, and to kind of have these bright, shiny flashlights that when we get to those tough moments, we actually know the way out. So that is what's possible for you, for the couples that you serve.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we want to.
And thriving is where we all want to be. And so, of course, we're kind of frustrated if we're not in thriving, or at least moving in that direction. I find it's that people are totally okay with it. Like if we're moving in that direction, right? But when we're stuck in that power struggle, that's when we're just miserable.
Yeah, so this is the key for you when you are supporting couples. Let them know about these 5 stages, and that, like, if they're in a difficult moment, it truly is just, we're a step away really from committing. So the number one mistake of couples who end up separating is thinking the power struggle is a dead end. And it's so understandable, because in the movies, so often we see love, like the blueprint for love. So many people grew up with is, fairy tales and the movies, and it's just always passion and this aliveness and the spark. And when that starts to fade, something's wrong, bad. So that's what we want to really help people see, that true love is like the nitty gritty. It's messy and beautiful. So the fastest and easiest way to transform a relationship
is, when we make a powerful commitment to learning what it takes to create a thriving relationship. So that, when we understand the stages, it's like, well, if we find ourselves in that power struggle, then we know exactly how to get out of it, which is to make a powerful commitment, to the relationship, to do what it takes, to grow right in the way that our relationship needs to thrive.
Yeah. Yes. If you're supporting a couple, that's just the first place to really take them to. Like, let's just make a commitment to seeing what's possible here. So if a couple is on the brink of separation, maybe they're really questioning things, what we usually encourage is, why don't you just dive in and see what's possible? Because chances are, at least you're not experiencing even a fraction of who you really can be together, and then make the decision based off on that. So it gives, if people are in a really tough place and really questioning things, or people are just in a tough place and they want to come back together, it is alchemical what happens when 2 people are like, okay, I commit to really, learning and growing from this, and seeing what this relationship needs from me in order to be better and healthier and more connected. Just making that commitment brings people together as like allies and teammates that are on this shared mission and journey together. It's really, really powerful making that commitment. So key number 2, let's do it.
So key number 2. So rather than just addressing the surface, we teach our coaches to wonder and look under. This is a priceless concept. This is like so important. When we wonder and look under, the whole world looks different. Like the whole lens through which we see human behavior completely shifts.
Yeah, it really does. It's one of the things that I feel just most touched by, I think, when the coaches in our program, is how often they say that they became a better human, through the program, because all of a sudden it's like seeing the world through this lens of wonder and look under, instead of all the ways that we can judge and misunderstand and project and create stories about one another. And it creates so much pain for us and for them. And so when we're working with couples, this is such an important thing for you to be doing as the practitioner, that we see our clients through that lens, because practitioners too can, if we see someone in a pattern, say a pattern of what we perceive as controlling their partner, maybe they're nagging, they're controlling, it could be so easy to really just judge that behavior, to just try to like change that behavior. We want to wonder and look under and help them do the same. So what most couples do that isn't working is they're reacting to the surface without looking at what's underneath. So what tends to happen is that one partner will do something, the other partner will react to that, and then they'll react to the reaction, and then they'll react to how they reacted to the reaction. And it's just no fun. And it's also exhausting as a practitioner. If you just have couples come in and they just argue and it feels like it sort of gets out of control really quickly because people have amygdala hijack where they're no longer kind of using the prefrontal cortex of their brain. Their nervous system is dysregulated. So on the surface, here's what it can look like.
Yeah. So on the surface, yeah, we see people blaming, criticizing, controlling, manipulating, having to be right.
Yeah, checking out, the silent treatment, stonewalling, defensiveness.
Stubbornness, dishonesty, neglecting the relationship, and keeping score.
Yeah. So, an untrained friend or family member or practitioner of any kind that sees a couple, displaying any of these patterns can really over focus on these things. Instead, we just want to see these things like these are little things that signal to us like, oh, there's something really, really precious actually going on underneath the surface. Let's wonder and look under and see what this is really about. Because what happens when couples, otherwise, here we have, they get triggered by their partner's trigger, they react to the reaction. And then the big thing that happens is that couples will end up fighting about the argument itself. And so you probably had this experience in your relationship. If you are human, we certainly have that. It's like, here was something like really precious, right? That maybe you brought to your partner and that never even got talked. You brought it up. And then before you know it, you're just talking about like, you're not listening to me. Yeah, well, you're criticizing me. And then a partnership starts like it becomes about the argument itself. And we never get to the thing that is so, so important.
Yeah.
Yes. So a couple session can quickly devolve unless we unearth the preciousness.
Yeah. So when we wonder and look under, we're really looking underneath those surface behaviors to like, oh, what are the unmet needs here? What are the deeper fears? What are the more vulnerable feelings, the unlived dreams? We're looking at, the how insecure attachment is being experienced, right? Which is, kind of triggers our nervous system like a life threat. We are looking for raw spots that are getting rubbed based on kind of wounds from the past. We're looking at for the strengths and good intentions, right? That are kind of underneath those relationship poisons.
Yeah, so this is such an important thing to do and something we just highly recommend when you're working with couples to, or an individual who's talking about their relationship and maybe they're talking about their partner and these things that their partner does, that it's really easy, right? To have judgment around or misinterpret, to realize like, oh my goodness, yeah, those are truly just symptoms of something else that we want to wonder and look under about. So key number 3.
Don't just fix what's wrong, grow what makes them strong.
Yes, so important.
Yeah, and that's one of those mistakes that a lot of like untrained people do with clients is that they over focus on what's not working in the relationship. It's like they think that, oh, if we just focus on the problems, then we'll kind of fix the problems. And that usually does not work. Usually, like when we hyper focus on the problems, then it feels like all we have is problems. And so we actually need to spend a good amount of the time with clients focusing on what's good, what's right, what their strengths are, and how to kind of expand into those strengths.
Yeah, it's so important. Otherwise, it can just be so exhausting. If someone thinks that like their relationship coaching session or relationship counseling session is going to be their partner just airing all of these grievances, all these complaints and frustrations that they've built up, that would not be very appealing to want to keep going to sessions. That's the good thing too, is again, with this methodology, it's like people look forward to it and they don't have that fear of like, I'm just going to be ganged up on or feeling kind of like beaten up by the session, because it's so, so painful. If we just feel like we're just going to go there and all of a sudden I'm going to find out that you have all these challenges that we didn't even know about, and we're going to talk about them. And that's healthy on some level, but not really find the off ramp or the way out. So again, there are infinite, like amazing, incredible, phenomenal therapists and coaches out there. We've just heard this so many times over the years from couples that come into our office and they're like, oh my gosh, we're finally making progress. And one partner that was really nervous to come because of past experiences. So what couples really need is
is emotional safety and connection. And that's why we're doing homework with clients, in the beginning to make deposits in their love account. So, and to feel safe and to feel connected once again. They really need secure attachment. Without secure attachment, it's like nothing good is going to happen. People are just their nervous systems are too dysregulated until there's secure attachment, at least enough of it to do work on.
Yes, that's kind of the growing what's strong. So getting a toolkit for life, like that couples feel like, oh my gosh, now for the rest of our journey, we can really pull these tools out that will really help us come back into a space of loving and connection. We want to focus on the past and the future. So this is, if we are over focusing on the past, this is helpful that we can do with them, with the clients that we serve, to really look at like, oh, this pattern probably developed because of your father doing such and such a thing, or past relationships, or a past part of this relationship. So we want to look at the past and maybe what painful thing has occurred that is contributing to what we're experiencing right now. That is so important. We just want to also look into the future and give them tools to experience the kind of thriving relationship they really want, because people aren't just coming in because they're in a tough spot and they want to survive. Couples really want to thrive. They want to, again, feel wonderful in sessions, feel this sense of inspiration, and also to feel really empowered and equipped, that they're not, permanently reliant on coming to somebody else, but like that they are developing this treasured chest of tools that they feel so comfortable using on their own. And it also, couples really need all 6 pillars. These 6 pillars. So these 6 pillars in our, our own journey, and now working with couples for over 15 years, it's like we really distilled like these are the 6 areas. If a couple can focus on all of these areas, they really have what it takes to experience a thriving relationship.
We find that, if these, 6 pillars are all hitting, it's like we're firing on all cylinders, that it's inevitable that we're in a thriving relationship. We need that communication piece, right? So that we're, make so much of that is like we're effectively listening and hearing each other. So we're engaging in conversations to listen and understand, and to be kind of constantly doing that wonder and look under, but with what each other's saying.
Yeah, otherwise it could just so often become 2 monologues, not a dialogue. A lot of couples that, come into our office or come to see the coaches and graduates in our program, will oftentimes remark that, oh my goodness, I've never heard you speak about it like that before. I finally get it. Or that's the first time I feel like you actually heard me. And so communication really paves the way for understanding, which paves the way for connection.
And personal growth, and personal responsibility, so important in relationships. Instead of shifting into blaming each other when things aren't working well, right? We want that commitment mindset where people are looking at themselves first, and when things aren't going well, it's like, what am I doing to contribute to this? Instead of blaming the other person, and then asking that follow-up question of, and how do I need to grow in order for our relationship to get to thriving?
Yeah, so I bet you, as we go through these, just to be thinking about your own relationship, like, I feel like on a scale of 0 to 10, how are we doing with communication? How are we doing with each of us doing our personal growth? Because a relationship is really only as healthy as both people are individually. So we have a commitment to the relationship to be doing that. So thinking about your own relationship, or somebody, maybe there's a couple that you're working with, or somebody in your life, a friend, loved one in a relationship. You can just sort of be assessing, because what we find is that if they're not experiencing this, magnificent, thriving relationship, you can usually say like, yeah, their communication, sort of like an assessment, just a way to really get a pulse. Okay, pillar number 3, secure attachment. So we mentioned secure attachment. Our brains, our nervous system is continually scanning the environment and looking for answers to the questions. Are you there for me? When I call, do you come? Are you responsive? Are you emotionally engaged? Are my feelings safe with you? Do I matter? A variety of questions. And when the answer is no, we go into alarm, alert, sort of primal panic. And our fear response kicks in, which could look like fight for you, for your clients, for your loved ones. It could look like freeze, flee. I'm just like, I'm out of here. We could get really tired all of a sudden. And so what we want to do is create secure attachment. So attachment is a bit of a buzzword these days. And rest assured, we don't just like have a certain attachment style and that's just who we are. We can co-create. Like this is why we love relationships so much, is that we can rewire our own brains. We can absolutely transform our nervous system by learning how to show up for one another in a whole new way that sends signals of safety, just continual communication with our bodies, with our expressions, with our tone, lots of different ways that like, you are safe with me. You are not alone in this. And it completely changes because this changes the nervous system of couples. And when this changes, people drop into their hearts. They can suddenly have empathy. They can see creative solutions. They can feel like a team, which is just so hard. When there's not secure attachment, it's so hard to make any sort of progress with a couple. So just a little pulse in your own relationship. Do you feel the sense of safety and security, emotionally, physically, intellectually, all the ways? Or could it benefit from a little nurturing? Or again, another couple that you're thinking of?
So pillar number 4 is making sure we have a positive love account. Sometimes, with your clients you're working with, they might be in this kind of negative sentiment override, and like what they would benefit most from is just having like positive experiences together. Reminding themselves and each other of why they fell in love in the first place. Making sure that they're not neglecting the relationship, that they're actually putting, kind of investing in the relationship, just going out on dates and taking vacations together and having, like sweet, affectionate time every day, and making sure that they, greet each other when they depart and come back together, instead of like ignore each other. So we need that positive love account, in order, for to have like a solid foundation to kind of do effective work with couples.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the research of Dr. John Gottman, also the research of Dr. Sue Johnson. And Dr. John Gottman refers to this ratio of 20-1 positive to negative. We want to, in positive or neutral times, we want to maintain this ratio of 20-1 positive to negative, because it's so important that our brain has a negativity bias where we tend to really cling to the things that are negative, and we need so much more positive to really override and counterbalance that. And so when you're working with a couple, if you're just focusing on what's not working, people can get so flooded by that. Or in a relationship, we're just always trying to process and fix things. So keeping a positive love account is so important.
Yeah, pillar number 5 is about knowing how to do repair work effectively. It is inevitable that we hurt each other in a long-term relationship. Like, we stay together long enough and we're going to do some things to hurt each other. That's okay. We want to minimize that. And we want to make sure we're doing effective repair, so that those wounds do not just stay open. That if we do effective repair, then actually we can come out of those painful experiences closer than ever with each other. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. And
All right. And
pillar
pillar number 6.
physical intimacy. So our biology is very responsive to touch, to affection, to sensuality, to sexuality. And so in a thriving relationship, it's always okay if two people just have a sincere disinterest in sexuality, but for the majority of people, a large amount of affection, kind of a good amount of sensuality, and a thriving sex life really stimulates our biology, to have like these kind of high oxytocin levels, that really bond us, kind of on that kind of neurotransmitter level.
Yeah. And when couples reach out for support around this, the number one reason is because they're experiencing what's called desire discrepancy, which is basically when each partner has a differing desire around physical intimacy. And it doesn't even need to just be sexuality, because what oftentimes happens is if there's conflict around sexuality, all physical intimacy tends to fall away. And so this is an area that people so often need support, because it can be just very emotionally charged for both partners. And we're all about, in including this in one of the 6 pillars, of course, finding a way that is co-created and mutually beneficial and meaningful for both people. And it's such an important thing for couples to get support around, because it can be a source of so much conflict and disconnect if not navigated really, really intentionally. So again, we invite you just to think about like, okay, among those 6 pillars, where are there opportunities for growth in your own relationship? How would life be better if you really, took all of those to the next level? Or any couples that you support, are those areas that you feel versed in? How are they doing in those? Because we really, those are the areas that we've developed these 50+ tools that really cover, each tool fits in one of those categories. So attachment, personal growth, and responsibility, communication, repair, the positive love account, and physical intimacy. And to create a thriving relationship, we want to really be supporting couples, in whatever ways are most meaningful for them, but to bring all of those up. So each one is just like this strong foundation, and then it creates so much resilience. So then if a couple is going through a stressful time, or someone didn't get much sleep, or had a hard day, then we don't take those things personally. We are there to really have each other's back in it. So, all right. So yeah, those 6 pillars, highly recommend learning all about them.
Yes. Yeah. So let's say you feel this calling to be a relationship coach. Yeah, like what do you need to be able to do? And so you need to have like a set of tools and a set of exercises to draw from so that you can consistently, create kind of dynamic, transformative results with couples that you're working with, right? Like, that competency as a practitioner, where like people are going to come in with lots of different issues, some really intense, and you're going to need to have this amazing toolkit to consistently serve them, and to create those breakthroughs, right, in these kind of difficult moments.
Yeah, otherwise couple sessions can be really stressful for both the couple and the practitioner. Because if someone brings up an emotionally charged topic and you don't have a tool to guide them through it, it can become easily just full of emotional triggers and charge. And then they really get dysregulated and can talk in circles and just feel like not much progress was made. But yeah, if you're looking for tools, I think it is absolutely what it takes, is tools that will, every time a couple comes in, people will really have issues they've struggled with for 20 years. And in one session, they can have an absolutely revelatory session that they all of a sudden have a creative solution that emerged that they had just never seen before. So the other thing that we highly recommend to be a successful relationship coach is personal transformation, to really embody the work. Now, we say this, but what is so important is that, one, you actually don't need to be in a relationship. We're all in relationships of all kinds. So if you are single, what a beautiful time. We've had actually a large number of our students are single, and they just realize I want to learn from all of my past relationships. So the next one, I am set up to have the best relationship imaginable. And it's so cool. Actually, I just got a text from one of our students who met the man of her dreams. They've now been dating for a few months. And she's just like, oh my gosh, it is the healthiest, most conscious relationship, because she just hit the ground ready to soar with him and shared all the materials with him. So you do not need to be in a relationship or have a great relationship. Relationships are real. Life is real. We welcome the full human experience, and it feels so comforting and so satisfying to really feel in alignment, to know that you've done your inner work really doing this. And that is what this program, our Thriving Relationship Coach certification, is really designed to do, is that you get all the tools to support other people in powerful, effective ways while going through your own transformation. And so we are encouraging students to be applying all the tools to their own life. And there are bi-weekly calls where you're hopping on that are optional. Just 6 of them are required for graduation, but where you're hopping on with other students and you're coaching one another. And so it is absolutely life-changing program that people are I could just never go back to how it was. So some people take this program because they just want this immersive experience of deep dive relationship transformation. And imposter syndrome comes up for so many people, which would really look like, who am I to do this work? I don't have a perfect relationship. So again, don't need a perfect relationship. And so satisfying to know, like, wow, I've really done the work. Yeah, like I've done this thorough investigation of my own relationships, my own heart, and really made this commitment to nurturing my relationships. And then the third thing they need to be a successful relationship coach.
Is the business skills to live your greatest purpose with joy, ease, and success. Yeah, and that's where, as part of the program, there's the business boot camp. And that is a kind of just very kind of dynamic, um, optional part of the course for people who don't already have a private practice and kind of need to kind of start one from scratch.
Yeah, so we can have all of these incredible gifts tucked
Yeah.
inside of us, and unless you have like the vehicle to really share them with the world. So yeah, we'll talk more about a relationship coach program where there is a business boot camp element, whether it's that or through some other means. We certainly would encourage you to learn some business skills that you can really mobilize and bring your gifts into the world and really experience the kind of life that you're longing for. All right. So thanks for being with us. So if you are interested in developing a specialty with couples, so if you are already in the helping profession, we've had people across the spectrum. We've had nurses, teachers, certainly therapists, coaches, energy healers, EMTs, dental hygienists that just have said, like, people are always coming in talking about the relationships. I wanted to be able to support them. You know, hairdressers,
police
firefighters. I mean, it's
officers.
like
Yeah.
engineers, speakers, like authors, the whole gamut, which we love so much. Lawyers, yeah, it's so great because couples are everywhere. So there's so many professions that people have this experience where, like couples are coming in and I just don't feel confident being able to support them. So that's if you just want a specialty, maybe you are a counselor, therapist, a coach, and people are coming to you about the relationship and you just feel like, I don't know quite what to say here. Oh my gosh, you will become truly a relationship expert. You will be one of the top experts really in the world because most people just don't have this information, really, truly, unfortunately. If you want to start an inspiring new career of freedom that fulfills you, that is just meaningful and lights you up, you don't need any prior experience. We go fully into it's a 6-month program. We go into just how to be an overall coach that gets results and then all of the relationship skills that you need that we'll go over the modules here in a moment. But people could come to you for sessions with all things relationship and you will feel equipped, not only equipped, you'll feel excited about helping them. I mean, I remember for the first many years, I still feel this excited, but I remember like when it was new and someone would call in and they would just be in such a painful, difficult place. I remember just feeling like overwhelmed with excitement because I knew it was possible. Like I would just tell them like, rest assured, I know this is such a difficult pain. Like my heart would just go out to them. And so many good things are on their way. We've got this. And so, yes, very inspiring, uplifting. And then if you want to massively improve your own relationships, we are going to share with you our relationship coach certification program. So again, we started this in 2020. So 5 years now, and we've had over 500 students go through it and they're from all over the world. I think we have every continent but Antarctica.
Yes.
So if you're from Antarctica.
We want you if you're from Antarctica. Yeah, and the coaching industry has just been exploding for the past several years. And so if you want to get in on coaching, I mean, this is a great time to jump in. It's still expanding. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And there's, like I said, it's a growing industry, so there's lots of room, for you if you're motivated and inspired to be part of it. And
Yeah. Well, in the coaching industry, so you probably, if you're connected to coaches, there's coaches for so many different things. I have actually multiple coaches in my life right now. I love coaching. If we want to get someplace in our life more easily and more quickly, and like just have worlds unlocked for us that we wouldn't be able to do on our own. Oh my gosh, a coach just accelerates everything. So there are now coaches for all sorts of things, which I think is incredible. And for relationships, it's a way to really just differentiate yourself because when people want help with their relationship in particular, it's really the area of life, as we've mentioned, like that tends to mean more to people than anything else. It feels very vulnerable, like they don't want to risk like, what if this doesn't go well? Maybe they heard from a friend that didn't have a good experience. Like, they really need to know that this is someone that they can count on and trust. And people are looking for experts and specialists in relationships when there's something as important to them as their marriage that might be on the line. Like, their partner may have just threatened to leave, and they're like, okay, I've got this one shot to improve my relationship. They want to know somebody with credentials that they really can trust around relationships. So with just general background in therapy or coaching, again, there's just not enough time and space to really develop a specialty in relationships. So this is a 6-month program all about love, all about relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's a time where virtual sessions are just so normalized that there's tons of freedom and flexibility, which is such an exciting time to be alive.
Yeah, it is nice to have access to like a global audience. I mean, we have clients that are all around the world. Yeah. And yeah, so when people are having challenges in the relationship, yeah, they're like really willing to invest. Like it's the most important thing in our life. Like when our you know, people that are in long-term relationships and like when they have a relationship that they've really built their life on, and when things become unstable, like they really want to invest in it. So they're kind of, you often, a bit desperate even, where it's like, oh, like, we're not selling them, it's like that they come to us and it's like, oh, will you please help us? And it's really just, such an honor to be like that person that people come to in that state, and to know that we have the skill set to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so much cheaper and easier than divorce, really, truly. Like that's such a devastating thing in people's lives. And it just is the case. The more we risk losing, we've all been there, right, in our lives, like maybe in a health crisis, it's like suddenly tending to your health, or it's like in a moment of relationship crises, people are looking for someone to really support them, who they know can get them where they really want to get. So it's such a tender moment to be able to be with people and give them hope, and help them create the kind of life that they really want. So let's talk a little bit about the modules and what we cover in the coach certification. So we're just going to go through these with you. So moving couples beyond power struggles into a new paradigm of thriving relationships. This is not just a relationship coach certification. It's specifically a thriving relationship coach certification. We absolutely go deep and cover all the things. We just also, part of my background actually is another business called Joy Potential. And it's all about, I've just passionately studied the science, the research about how to experience our optimal life. So it's not just about like, how do we get by? It's like, how do we really flourish together? And so I love the field of positive psychology, and we want to have the best relationship possible. So at the end, looking back, we don't have any regrets.
Yeah. So you see these modules kind of follow along with the pillars. So we'll cover communication essentials for couples,
cultivating secure attachment,
breaking free from repetitive cycles in relationships,
the relationship breakthrough and repair system. That's one of our communication tools. That is a way to like facilitate a breakthrough with couples again and again and again and again. It's truly what we use in our own relationship. When we have a difficult moment, we have used that. I want to say, I don't know, feel like tens of thousands of times with clients, because it really is like predictable, repeatable results with people.
And the power of the love account and how to keep it full.
Helping couples create a strengths-based relationship. So important.
Yeah. Building emotional intimacy between a couple.
Personal transformation and nervous system regulation.
Healing from affairs and rebuilding trust.
Helping couples transform sexual challenges and reignite the spark.
Setting a couple up for lasting change.
The proven formula for sessions. So we help you really map out the first 10 sessions to know exactly what you can do. So it takes all the guesswork out.
Yeah. And special considerations in areas like addictions, personality disorders, intimate partner violence, diversity, and neurodivergence.
Yes. So important. We have incredible guest speakers in the program as well, which we're so grateful for them. Yes. Okay, let's see. Oopsies. I just got stuck there for a little moment. Okay, and then business boot camp. So there was personal transformation, all of those modules to help empower you to know exactly what to do to support other couples. And then we have business boot camp. So that I run twice a year, and it's live. And I do it live because we are these social creatures. And I love the power of what happens when we come together in a group. The things that feel challenging suddenly become so much easier and so much more fun when we do it together. So we're going to create your client intake form and we're going to literally do it together. Cancellation policy, client agreements come with business names, and it's so fun to like brainstorm those together. Designing your logo and branding, setting up your online scheduler. We actually just did that today with a group of coaches. Free consultations and discovery sessions. So how to really help inspire people who are considering reaching out for support to become clients. Money mindset, which is big for a lot of people. Soulful sales, so that it isn't that you're like, if you have resistance to sales, it truly can just come from your heart and truly be about service and giving people value and this incredible opportunity to experience healing and transformation and breakthroughs. Rates, packages, list building, growing your audience, website and turning leads into clients, social media, things like that. So that's the business boot camp. And again, there's all the replay. You can watch past trainings or you can join that live when we run that. So the program features, it's a 6-month program. It's entirely virtual. There are weekly training modules. So those are all pre-recorded videos for you to watch at any time. So you can listen to it when you're in the car, when you're getting ready in the morning. You can listen to it on 2 times speed if you want. So those are 2 hours each. You can be out in nature and tuning into those. Then we have Q&A mentoring calls with the 2 of us. We do those twice a month. And you have access to those for an entire year. So 6 months while you're going through the program. And then we realize like, once people actually start seeing clients, they're going to have different cases that they want to explore. And so we used to have that 6 months, but now it's a full year. So you can just continue to get support while you're seeing people. Then we also have partner calls that are there for practice and community. We say partner, but those are a wonderful way to really feel a sense of community, to get to practice the tools, and then to get to experience being a client, which we can learn so much about the tools actually being the client.
Yeah. Yeah. And, one of the really cool things about our program is that every week there's going to be a live component. And that's, I think, really kind of rare with a program like this, where every other week it's going to be either, the live Q&A or a partner call. So every week you'll be able to do a live component of the course, if you want to. And if you don't want to, that's okay. People you need to do 6 of the Hartner calls to graduate. But beyond that, you can always just watch the replays on the live events. You don't have to be there live if you can't be.
Yeah, and you can submit questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so when you submit questions ahead of time, we just always get to them and then you can watch the replay. You can ask questions anonymously, which people do relatively often. There's a confidential library of recorded sessions. A lot of people say this is one of their favorite parts. So these dear, gracious, brave couples volunteered to actually be featured in the program. And so Brett and I had the great honor of using these tools to facilitate these intimate, just like powerful sessions with these couples. And so that's in a very confidential library that you'll have access to actually watch these breakthroughs unfold with couples, to see the tools come to life.
Yeah, and there's 50 plus signature tools that we're going to train you on how to use. So remember those 6 pillars? Well, on each of those pillars, we're going to give you like 8 to 10 concrete tools that work really well, that give consistent transformational results with clients.
Yeah, and they're definitely tools that we've developed and refined over the past 15 years. So they aren't like tools that you would find elsewhere, and you would have full rights to use them in your own practice, at workshops, retreats, to give to clients. And it's a huge value. We find, with couples over the years, they would like see, we have like people that would come in person. We have this big binder with all these tools, and they were like, what are we going to do next session? So it keeps people really engaged, wondering what's next. And they just feel so much value that they want to keep coming. So there's like, well, there's more yet for us to learn. Or if you have online sessions, you get to have an entire library then of these tools. And so if you do packages, for example, one of the benefits of the package would be that clients have access to all of these tools. So it's just the more value that we can offer people, the more effective you are as a coach, and the more that you can deeply serve people, and the more, of course, they're willing to like invest then in your services. So having these tools, it is something that we're just so passionate. We love creating tools. So of course, the business bootcamp we mentioned, you can also be featured on our website. After you graduate, we have a graduate directory so that people can find you that are looking for relationship support. They can come onto our graduate directory, and we have tens of thousands of people that visit our website every month, and you get lifetime access to the course. So you never need to worry about, if you need to miss something or life happens and you get really busy, you can, we have it as a 6-month program. We just had somebody, she did in 4 months. I think someone just graduated. So some people take an entire year. You can do whatever you want, but it can definitely be done in 6 months or sooner if you're just really eager to get going. All right. So what sets this program apart?
Well, for one, it's taught by a thriving couple. Whenever we start to get kind of off kilter, I must say, I feel this huge responsibility, because we do the work that we do, because we, are relationship coaches and we, train people to be coaches. I feel this like overwhelming responsibility to like live, what we preach. And so, we really live this stuff. And we have a lot of graduates in our program, just say that actually just seeing us kind of operate together and kind of how we do our dance is really meaningful. And so I feel really lucky
Ditto.
to do this
Ditto.
work.
Yeah. It's the greatest gift to do this work together. So if you're exploring different possibilities, I don't know of other relationship coach certification programs that are taught by a couple. I don't think we know of any. Maybe they exist out there, but I've never found them.
Yeah.
And then so with that, you also have the male and female perspective, which some people find really valuable. And then also therapist and coach perspective. So Brett, longtime licensed psychotherapist, background in social work, has been in clinical settings, hospital, emergency department, community mental health. And then my background, for over 20 years, I've been a transformational coach. So I started in energy healing and somatic coaching, which is now such a big thing. That's actually kind of where I got started in energy healing and somatics, and lots of transformational coaching. So getting those two perspectives, people oftentimes find really, really valuable. Your partner gets to join you for free. Again, we don't know of any other program that offers that. So not a requirement. I don't even know the percent. Not even quite half, maybe 25% of people end up having their partner join, which is so great. So there are other couples in the program if you want to do that, but not a requirement. Some people, their partner's just busy or not interested, but they can get certified right alongside you for free because we just love the idea of couples doing it together.
Truly, and it's not about them necessarily like becoming a coach. It's just like your relationship, if you both understand this information, it's like your relationship would just go boom, 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 like up many, many levels. And that we love that. Really, that excites us like more than anything.
Yeah. And if you want to do work together, do lead workshops together, then it's really
Yeah.
sweet to do it together, of course. The tools, we also, we've had many people take our program that had taken other relationship coach certification. And I'd say one of the top things we hear is like, I left there not really knowing what to do, these kind of theories, but not actually how it applies. So that is one of the things that we've really learned that sets it apart. I don't know that we know any other programs out there that you get this extensive collection of here's formulas that you can use again and again and again that have been tested thoroughly by so many couples before we started sharing them. So that sets us apart.
Christy mentioned the recorded kind of intimate sessions that you'll have access to. Our program, it's very science-based. We're definitely we're geeks about the science of relationship, but it's also just has so much heart. Would have Christine to thank for that largely. But
big heart.
There's just it's the head and the heart. It is so prevalent in our program.
Yeah, we really want it to be whole brain. It's personally transformative, which is a really important
Mhm.
part of it, is people really bring their whole selves to this
Yeah.
course. We have students that are around the globe. So if you're looking for global community, it just feels like it represents like what the program is all about. When I look out and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's people of just all different political, religious,
Yeah.
cultural backgrounds, and we're all coming together, tuning into the universalities of human connection and love. And it's such a beautiful community.
And yeah, and just a few weeks ago, I was connecting with one of our graduates, who's in South England, and actually, they told me that they just so happened they met another of the students in our program that just lived like half an hour away from them, and now they're friends.
So
And
cool.
so it's such a cool, global community.
Yeah, we have people in Asia and Africa and Canada and South America and yeah, all over. So wherever you are, there's a good chance that there are students there. Yeah, New Zealand. Okay, the business training and getting kind of personal support around that. The live mentoring calls, that's another thing that people sometimes struggle if they sign up for a program and there isn't that personal touch point. That is so important to us that you really become a part of Team Love. We've got you. We are here to set you up for success. We want you to have everything you need in order to be this relationship coach that people just come to again and again. They tell their friends and their loved ones, like, you have to go to this person because, oh my gosh, they've changed my life. Like, you have everything you need to be able to do that in a way that brings you joy. Yeah, and there's lots of love. People comment on that all the time, is the amount of love and positive energy in the program, which, yeah, we all create together. So we're going to share, because we think one of the best ways is hearing from some other students. And certainly on our website, there are many kind and gracious things that people have shared. So we'll introduce you to just a few of our graduates here. So here's Ray Carter. We love you, Ray.
Exceeded every expectation on every level. I originally signed up for this program thinking it could help us in our relationship and possibly be useful for me to gain the skills to help others too. I quickly realized how much value you had packed into the sessions, and you exceeded every expectation on every level.
Yes, our relationship has benefited, as has my relationship with our adult children and grandchildren. So rest assured, this is not like limited to your romantic relationship. Lots of people end up seeing families. They work with mother-daughters. So Brett and Christine have hearts of pure gold. Thank you, Ray. And the love they extend to the world is having its effect. And now we can all catch that beautiful energy and multiply it out even further. And I will say, like, at a time that it's a difficult time on the planet for a lot of people right now. There's just a lot of tension and conflict, no matter where you are. And so it's so important, I think, that we find those communities and those places that help us become more of who we truly are. And we really hope to create a container of that. So Ray also says, when I've coached my clients, they have all said that they had other coaches for a session or two, and mine was fantastic and streets ahead of the one they quit. So you will hear that all the time, that you will stand out as a relationship coach.
This program feels like there is not one of us being left behind, and your support of all of us is exceptional. I thank you with all my heart for what you have given me through this experience and all the tangible takeaways too.
We love you, Ray.
So much, Ray.
Thank you so much.
Ray's in New Zealand.
Yes, she is. And then we've got Julia. She's in London. These tools have turned around decades of old patterns. I love catching the contagious, authentic positivity and love that Brett and Christine give out. Christine and Brett really encourage us to find and celebrate the gifts we each have within us, so we can all emerge as our very different and amazing selves.
We pick up so much misinformation from our upbringings, our education, and our culture that we really need this well-researched course to undo those untrue stories we tell ourselves that get in the way of us thriving in life. The tools I have learned have turned around decades of old patterns for me and my partner. Oh,
so
thank you,
awesome.
Julia.
Big hugs to you, Julia. We've got Amy here. Amy, you might be able to relate to Amy's experience. So Amy says, one of the best things I've ever done in my life. For years, I've always loved those situations where I would talk to people and help them to come to new insights of their own. Such situations were few and far between, however. I yearned for more experiences where I could help others, but I didn't know how to bring that into my life. This program is the way.
I so admire how Brett and Christine have created a program that distills the essence of a complex body of research and thought into a fun, educational, personal growth experience. They bring it to life in such an engaging way.
The program also includes so much support and education about the process of coaching and how to work with clients. It's not just a matter of learning the curriculum. Students are also supported as they engage with the material and apply the relationship insights to their own lives.
Brett and Christine are amazing instructors. Thank you. Their excitement for teaching this material is so apparent. Their support and spirit sets the tone for the whole course. They have such a talent for making concepts easy to understand and bringing new insights. In so many sessions, I had aha moments where I was able to look at things in a new way. Oh, thank you so much, Amy. And
Okay, Munachim. So I have been counseling people for years, but I knew something was missing. From this program, I have gained confidence to now call myself a relationship therapist. Your team is top notch and your tools are rich and clear. Thank you for the exposure, the books, the tools, and your idea of openness to transfer your knowledge. So glad that you are out there spreading love and connection. So yeah, if you've wanted to be a relationship coach or help couples, you will definitely feel ready to dive in and do so with gusto. Illumina says,
as a coach for 12 years now, I've never come across a training this packed with incredible gems and speed of the highest caliber useful information. This training is absolutely incredible and has exceeded any thought possible. I'm elated over all the new tools that I've learned and been using in my private life, in sessions with my clients, and sharing with so many. Thank you with all my heart for the tremendous support and being able to join this and learn so much. I'm forever grateful.
if you are even the slightest considering this complete goldmine school for thriving relationships, dive straight in. There is amazing, incredible material and live calls each week, just in all. The amount of information you receive in just one module is packed with goodies, and all of them are gems and so helpful tools to really assist others and our own personal lives to thrive in love. This training is for anyone and all. Everyone should really do this class before dating even.
Brett and Christine are by far two of the utmost magical and fun, positive, caring, loving humans ever, ever, ever. Thank you. I can't even begin to tell you how deeply touched I am by the love they emanate and embody. I was longing for more of a community in my practice and as a solo entrepreneur, and this really was an answer to my prayers. Thank you with all my heart. Thank you
Love you,
so much,
Illumina.
Illumina.
Thank
You
you
are
so,
like-
so much. And we're sharing these because if we've never met before, we know what a big deal it is to take the leap and consider doing something like this. And so it really is that you can, if you're feeling the calling, can like feel maybe a little bit more trust from hearing how it was for others. So here's Lindsay. Lindsay shares, 10 out of 10 recommend taking this program. Brett and Christina are a dream. They really give you everything you need to feel fully supported and cared for, far beyond what I could have imagined. They work so beautifully together in trainings, inspiring you along the way. As you go through the program, you have the opportunity to ask any questions you have, which is huge.
The investment is so worth it. Christine set you up to start taking clients with the business boot camp sessions in the last 8 weeks of the training. I would never have even known where to start when it came to the business. Too easy with her guidance.
I had perused other coaching programs online before signing up for this one. Some offer a much shorter training, and I can't imagine leaving a shorter training with this much incredible knowledge, plus the tools to use in my own practice.
My own relationship with my partner has become even stronger as a result of going through the tools and trainings together. That alone is worth it to me. This program has pushed me out of my comfort zone in a big way. Magic is happening. I'm excited to dive into the new possibilities this program has opened up for me. It's been an incredible experience all around. Thank you,
Thanks,
Lindsay.
Celebrating you and all she is serving so many people doing such
Lindsay's
incredible work.
on Vancouver Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have Shauna. So Shauna says, the sole reason we were able to save our 30-year marriage. The content is unrivaled. It saved my own 30-year marriage after infidelity, and we're now thriving. Go, Shauna. Our relationship became something so different, so brilliant, so helpful, and so immediate. And those who knew us couldn't believe our transformation. Now we're the couple other couples want to emulate.
Brett and Christine are born healers and leaders, super easy to learn from. Since starting the course, anytime I share info with anybody, I'm seen as an authority and people trust the information. I was going to simply allow this training to be of benefit to my own marriage, but as I progressed through the curriculum, I found it really easy to talk to others about what I was learning, and each time it turned into a mini session. I've helped people before even graduating.
I quickly changed up how I thought about why I was taking this course. Not only is it growing and improving my own relationship, but others around me as well. I can see myself as a Center for Thriving Relationships messenger now. The need is so vast, it's indescribable.
I can't wait to watch other relationships expand and improve similar to the way of that my own has. I feel like I won the lottery. I'm eternally indebted to Brett and Christine. Thank you. They are the sole reason we were able to save a 30-year marriage. I never knew thriving existed in relationships.
The content and theories that make up the Center for Thriving Relationships are so complete and all-inclusive. It's applicable and highly effective for anyone who applies their principles to any relationship. Oh, Shauna, just bowing to the two of you for doing the work and now spreading it in the world. You're incredible, just incredible. Okay, I think maybe this is the last one, Jessica.
After intensive research and searching for a relationship coach certification program that would meet all my needs, the Thriving Relationship Coach certification program exceeded my needs. I am beyond grateful for this program. Our instructors, Brett and Christine, give you the most research knowledge and abundance of actual tools that brings so much confidence to be able to do this work.
Not only do they generously give you training sessions, tools, sample sessions, and business sessions, but they do everything with the utmost compassion and generosity. Their kindness and compassion is truly what I believe can make the biggest difference amongst other programs. All aspects of the program truly gave me the knowledge and confidence to know that this is truly the work that I know and believe in my heart to do. I'm beyond grateful to Brett and Christine. I realize I do another one here because any therapists that are out here or any coaches that are concerned, like, oh, but I'm not a therapist. So rest assured, we have had both therapists, lots of therapists go through this, and then people that have no background whatsoever in mental health or coaching or therapy or anything. So here's what Amanda says.
I now feel more prepared than I did leaving graduate school. I'm a licensed mental health therapist, and what I love about this program is that Brett and Christine shared evidence-based therapies and modalities for people to understand that were not even covered in my graduate classes. I learned so much from them about couples work. We didn't get enough information about that in our schooling.
It does a really great job preparing people with cutting edge modalities for working with couples. As a therapist, the science speaks to me, and I now feel more prepared than I did leaving graduate school.
Brett and Christine are really, really special instructors. Thank you, Amanda. They're both extremely conscientious and kind and warm and supportive. If you have any questions, they go above and beyond meeting people's needs. And they did a really stellar job of making sure that the information that they're presenting is based on science and compassion.
This program was an amazing investment for me as a therapist because it really changed my skill set for the better. It enhanced what I was able to give my clients by an incredible degree. I feel way more prepared now to help people navigate the issues that arise specifically from relationships. I also think it's an amazing investment for people without a social work or mental health background. For people who are just looking to be coaches, this is really specialized information that you can have even without that background.
It's above and beyond training. I'm really, really grateful that I invested in it. And I know it's going to come back to me and it's going to be paid forward to all the people that are going to benefit from me being able to teach this now.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Yeah,
You're
thank
doing
you, Amanda.
incredible work helping so many couples. So, so we want to answer some frequently asked Q&As at the end. We'll also open it up to anybody that has questions. Replays. So yes, of course, you get all the replays. It's easy peasy to answer that. We always post them the next day, so you don't have to wait. You have lifetime access. Absolutely. Nothing will ever go away.
Yeah, so as we update the tools, the worksheets, yeah, you're always going to get the latest version because you have that lifetime access.
Yeah, as far as how many hours a week is a fabulous question, and we really find a range. We survey students at the end, and some will say like 4-ish hours, and some would say in the 4 to 6 hour a week range. Those that are really thorough, they go to all the live calls, they read all the books. I would say you'd probably be looking at the wanting 4-ish hours a week, but we take weeks off. So it's not every single week, but when you're on around 4 hours. If you want to do it all, if you want to read the books, if you want to watch the 2-hour module, again, you could do that on, faster speed. If you want to do the worksheets and actually apply them to your life and in your relationships, you can make these into date nights if you're in a relationship, and do the Q&A call and the partner calls. I would aim for 4 hours a week, again, with weeks off. So I think it's like every 6 weeks, there's a week off.
And there would just be a few weeks, like when you start doing your practice sessions, those are weeks where, it's going to be a few hours more than that, 4 hours a week. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You could do more than that depending on how much you're using them and practicing them. And graduation requirements, Brett mentioned that you'll attend 6 of those partner calls, which if you can't make those live calls, people are always partnering up with each other and those totally count. We're so flexible. We just want people to feel empowered, equipped, confident, have everything they need to just like go out and soar. So partner calls, and then doing 8 graduation sessions. So those are not videotaped. You're just journaling about them. Like, how long was the session? What tools did you use? What breakthroughs happened? What did you learn? So we have just some journaling prompts for 8 sessions that you'll do as part of your graduation, and then to complete all of the modules, which you'll do inside of the online course portal. You'll mark that they're all complete. And so that's what it takes to actually graduate.
Yeah, so you don't need any prior kind of formal experience or education to be a relationship coach. Our program will really prepare you over those 6 months or longer, if you take longer, to acquire that skill set to effectively work with couples.
Yes. And individual support. Yes. So we do, again, twice a month, we're doing live mentoring calls that people are on. We're engaging and interacting. Those are like intimate groups. And then Andrea and Lindsay are 2 incredible team members. Andrea is a relationship coach on our team. Lindsay is the community connector. We met her as a graduate. They're in the bi-weekly partner calls, and they're just with you. People feel so connected to them. So yes, we absolutely want there to be such a personal touch and for you to feel so connected to us, to other students, and to get support. Business Bootcamp is done live. So if I had poor experiences in the past and I'm nervous, so that comes up for people, and just so sorry if that is you and you've had an experience in past programs that like didn't meet your needs. So we certainly are committed when we have students fill out a survey at the end. It is, I think, truly all but one in all the hundreds of surveys all said that it exceeded their expectations. One person said met expectations, and only one person. Everybody else over all the years has said exceeded expectations. But if for some reason that's not the case, we do have a 100% money back guarantee. If you take it for 30 days and it's just not what you're looking for, no problem whatsoever. We absolutely issue a refund so you can get in there. We want to just serve you. Like, it is really here to serve and support the people that this is allowing you to like fulfill a calling in your heart. So our aim is for it to exceed your expectations at every turn. We have poured so much love and energy into this program to be as dynamic as it can be. And goodness, we want it just to be of service. So what if I'm not in a great relationship or I'm single?
Yeah. If you're not in a great relationship, then hey, yeah, like I hope you've heard everything you've said during this training, and let's go for it. Like, let's identify like what's the relationship of your dream, and let's do everything we can to create that. Because we can do it.
It's like the greatest insurance policy on our relationship, as Brett was saying. Like, we really truly got into this because we just felt like we wanted to share, because I felt like it could have such a positive impact. And we're always questioning, like, how can we best use this gift of life to love and serve the world? And I had no idea like how much it would benefit our lives. Like, it has been the greatest gift. I can't imagine anything that I would find more valuable to know about in my own life than having good relationships. Like, it has helped every friendship, every colleague, every area of my life has been so outrageously benefited from having these relationship skills. And then, so yeah, if you're not in a great relationship, come on in. We welcome you exactly as you are. And single, yes. I think we mentioned that too. You can be single, and relationships of all kinds, and you just come be human with us. We welcome you. All right. So next step. So if you are feeling a little sparkle in your heart, and this is sounding interesting to you at all, we have not done a live big group starting since 2023. So we have students that have been coming in, but we are we were doing it kind of twice a year opening up. So so now is the moment when there's going to be a big, beautiful group coming in. So we've had students that just, yeah, again, come in at different times, but not a group like this. So this next big cohort is starting March 24th. We already have people that have started signing up. And so if you're interested, here is the QR code to apply, to go ahead and you can go to our website. We'll pull up the website here in just a minute, but to go ahead and apply. Applying takes like maybe 10 minutes. You can probably do it in 5 minutes because also the questions are optional. And so we just want to hear your heart and what your dreams are and make sure that we're a wonderful fit for you. And then you'll be invited to hop on a call where we would answer all your questions and really just hear about like what calls you to this program. And we just want so much for it to be the greatest service to you, and that will just allow you to make sure that that is the case. So applying is the next step. Reach out with anything if you have any other questions here. We're so grateful, so looking forward to connecting with you more, whether in the program or in other ways, and just are sending all our love and many, many, many blessings. And yeah, grateful to be on Team Love with you.
Yeah.
All right,
Big
we'll see you.
hugs, much love.
Bye, everyone.